Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is August 27th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie Talk Show, Fashion Dolls. It is fierce. Our first interview with Kareen Grimes, which is up right now, Fashion Dolls. We're about to get into our interview with Orlando Eric Street. He is a Chicago native, and he is the second of 4 siblings and the only boy. He lived in Chicago until the age of 12. His father, Eric Street Sr., decided to move to Louisiana in 1982. And as you guys all know, today's show is sponsored by Exclusive Beauty Hair Store. So make sure you guys go and follow us at Exclusive Beauty Hair Store. All right, Fashion Dolls, for all your beauty and essentials, make sure you guys go and check it out. We're waiting on Orlando Eric Street, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get into his acting career. He's also a producer as well, too, ladies and gentlemen. My first interview with Kareen Grimes of CW's All-American is up now. And in case you guys missed it, All-American returns October 25th, so make sure you guys mark your calendars. And ladies and gentlemen, join us today. We have Chicago native Orlando Street. My co-host Johnny will be joining us a little. Make sure you guys go and follow Lip Revolt Cosmetics. Thank you so much for viewing today's show. Welcome. Happy Friday.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. It is such a pleasure. It's such an honor to be in your presence. You just don't know.
I appreciate it. I hate to do this in this circumstance. It's just that I wouldn't normally be in my office during a time like this, but we got a hurricane coming in New Orleans. So
Oh, no.
I got to go get my boy from school. So I'm just evacuating him. So I get to spend time with you guys on the road.
All right, Fashion Dolls, and we're in for a great show today. Our co-host Johnny will be joining us a little bit later, but let's get into this interview with our very special guest, actor and producer Orlando Street. All right, so you were born in Chicago, Illinois, and you were the second of 4 siblings. You were the only boy, and your father decided to move you to Louisiana, which is where you're headed to now, in 1982. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing. What was it like growing up? How many brothers? How many sisters?
I have 3 sisters who I love much, and my parents, we lived in Chicago for a while. Majority of my family in Chicago. I got some very talented family members that's still in Chicago. The reason why I left, we were kind of in a very bad, so my father decided to get us out of the hood, so to say, and so he packed up until he ended up in Louisiana. So that's how we ended up here. But majority of my family is still in Chicago right now.
Okay. So what made you get into acting? Because it says the theater was your first love.
Yes, theater was my first love, but I began to realize that I'm deaf in one ear, and I have I have dyslexia, and I stutter, and so I would try theater at first, but when they have you do those cold readings, you get nervous and everything, and the stutter comes out, and then with dyslexia you start jumbling up words, and so you absolutely bomb. So then I decided to shift on over into film and television because I knew that then I could have a chance of studying the script a little bit more before I go into auditions. So that made it easier for me. So then after I started doing that, I had to learn everybody's role in it. So that's how it operated then. So that's how I shifted on to film and television.
Okay. And you also attended Southern University and you majored in broadcasting. And you also did some modeling and acting for some local companies to make money to jumpstart your career. So
right.
Modeling, we never knew this about you. What made you get into modeling?
Well, I was trying to think of the fastest way to get into television and film. So when you audition, so you start doing some print work and stuff, and so you get to meet more people. And then they started giving me direction, mentoring me in the right direction. It was it was just like an easy way for me. I don't think that I'm the absolute model type. You know, those guys are like, they're like perfect. You know, and I have the only thing I had good for going for me was like I was tall and skinny. So and the suits fit well. So but it was tough doing modeling and stuff. I got some great print work out of it. I still do some pretty good print work right now, but that was just another way to jumpstart me to get into commercials, to film, and then to produce it and direct it. That's just the way, because I wanted to learn everything about it.
Okay, okay. And after graduating, you got a professional tennis career, started playing
Yes.
tennis professionally, and you still acted in local theaters and you did commercials as well. So what was it like, and why did you kind of give up sports?
Well, I played professional. It cost a lot of money, and I was older, and they had younger kids doing better. And being older, the sponsors don't want to spend that kind of money on somebody that's a little bit older. And so the sponsorship was hard. So, you know, it's more pressure on me. So I had to, I had to essentially just give it up because it was just not enough money. I think if I had a little bit more money, maybe another year or two trying to play professionally, I think, well, I know I would have made it, but the money just ran out. So, and then I jumped into my other love as being on stage and started acting.
Okay, okay. So let's get into some of these films. I fast forward. He Watches Me, Waiting for Angels with Robin Givens, The Butler, which is one of my favorites with Forest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey, who is the queen of daytime.
Yeah,
so
the
so
Empress.
many. Creeping with the Deacon, switching the script, and the list goes on, and so forth and so on. So tell us, what was it like being on set next to Forrest Whitaker? Because he also did one of my favorite films, which features one of my favorite singers, Whitney Houston, Waiting to Exhale.
Oh
So
yeah.
Angela Bassett, Loretta Devine, it was an all-star studded female cast. But what was it like being on set next to Forrest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey?
Oh well. Okay, so I'm a back up just a little bit. I at first trying to come up again. I did things like they call stand-in for actors, and I had the opportunity to be Forrest Whitaker's stand-in. And when I got there, Forrest Whitaker was like, "This guy's my stand-in. He looks nothing like me." But you know, I kind of lied because I wanted to get to know him because he was directing this film, and that way I could be close to him and get to talk to him. Because again, that was my way of learning because I've done every position in the film business. So, so long story short, you know, I did that film, and so then I got picked for the Butler. It was very quiet because Lee Daniels let me know from the beginning. He said, "I'm not sure if your scene is going to be here or not, depending on the approval rating for Obama and stuff like that. Don't know if I want to make it too political." But so when I got on set on the Butler, I walked up and sure enough, it was Forrest right there, and I go, "Hey, Mr. Whitaker." He goes, "I told you to call me Forrest." And I was like, "Oh," I said, "So you remember me?" He said, "How can I forget you? The guy that doesn't look anything like me." And so we had a good relationship, and I get those opportunities to talk to people like Forrest to give me advice on acting and stuff, you know, and it was very encouraging, and that was just really good for me. And I just was blessed to have like not only be on set to start acting, but I get to learn from people like Lee Daniels, Forrest Whitaker, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman. I had opportunities to have like long conversations with them to help me, you know, hone in on my skills a little bit more. So it was a blessing, but it was a great time with him on set. I did get to see Oprah, but it was really funny because they were trying to hide me from the public seeing me. They didn't want people to see me. I had a goatee because I was filming another film at the time, and Lee Daniels made me shave and all that other stuff. But they kept like several people around me because they did not want. They wanted that to be a surprise if it were to be shown, but they ended up cutting it out anyway. So, but it was weird. So I saw Oprah was like that too. She was surrounded by a ton of people. So, but then I had a chance to say hello and everything, and try not to geek out because Oprah's so amazing. You know, there's a few people that like I'll go absolutely crazy over if I see them, but other than that, we're all coworkers.
Okay, okay. Which brings me to the next question. If you could collaborate or work on a project with any actor or actress, what would your dream collaboration be?
Ah, I have this idea for an action film, and it's kind of biased, like because I've met these people that Freeman, I would love to have him in a project. I would love to work personally on a level with Denzel Washington. Um, I had the opportunity to be on set to see him in action as a director, and his style is a lot different from other directors. But I just want to be in there just so I can hear, you know, that get that nugget that would probably help take me to the next level. But I have a project right now that I'm working with my business partner Andre Shanks and Christopher Suarez, and we are working on a project right now. We're at the very beginning phases of it, and it's a really good film. And that's my next project I'm going to be directing. So
Okay, okay, something to look out for. So, with this thing going on, this pandemic, I know it's been difficult because I just did an interview with actor Kareem Grimes from All American,
I love it.
and yes, and he was saying, how it was balancing out family and being away from family and being on set in the middle of this pandemic going on. So for you, has it been difficult to get around and be able to film and tape with all of these limitations and
Did
social
I
distance
lose you? I'm
guidelines?
sorry.
It's a lot.
Oh,
I know for a lot of actors out here. So how have you or how are you capable or able to manage it,
it's it is difficult because you have to get locked in and stuff. And I mean, you get to talk to them, and thank goodness for like social media and FaceTime and stuff like that. But it's tough, I mean, to be away from your family for that long a period of time, and then the testing. When I got vaccinated, that stopped me getting checked every other day. But now they're still checking you even though you're vaccinated, and that's just for me. That to get checked every other day is just painful. And I was lucky because I was blessed to be on set, but I was miserable because I had to do that so many times, and I just didn't like doing it. But I mean, being away from your family and stuff, and quarantine, it's just terrible. But I mean, you got your active family that's there with you, which is pretty cool, but it's not the same.
Absolutely. And I know those tests can be very, very painful. I've
Yeah,
got them a few times and but it's taking precautions. We have to take precautions. Like I've seen a lot of people do these things in order to make sure that everyone on set is safe and that they're following within the guidelines. So it's definitely difficult. That's why, I was going to do my live show like in person with my co-hosts, both of my co-hosts, and we had to push that back because down here in South Carolina, the numbers are going up. And so, with
yeah,
that being said, we're having to follow these guidelines and take precautions. So, but we got to keep our families safe, protected at all times.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
the next part of the conversation, fast forward, where does Orlando see his career taking off to the next level?
I think, well, I shouldn't say I think. I know that this next project that I'm going to be working on, I know that that's going to catapult me in a category for producing and directing a film. I know it. It's really good. My my team of critics that are close to me, and they give me honest opinion. I let them all read it. That's something that I've written, and they all laughed, cried, and cheered on the for victory and stuff. It's a really, really good script. I think that one is going to put me at the next. It's going to take me to the next level. So, but as far as the future, my goals are to continue to push. I really, believe it or not, I really want to be behind the camera and producing films more so than being in front. I like being in front, but again, I had to take those steps from like print work to commercials to film to all these different roles so I could get in this position to be a director, because I want to direct and produce films more so than to be in them. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy being in the films. I enjoy winning. I enjoy my small little fan club and everything. But it's to be the producer and director of the film. That's the ultimate goal. And I think I know I got a project that's going to take me to that next level.
So more so behind the lens. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I definitely could see that. So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you grounded? What inspires you to keep the passion and the willpower to keep going?
My passion is I guess this comes from tennis. I like to win, and I want my winning percentage to be higher. You know, I like the success that I'm having with it, but I need that big win. And I have a lot of good wins, or if you want to say in sports, I have a lot of good base hits and doubles. You know, I'm ready to step up and hit that home run that's going to take me to the next level. And I know I'm very close, because from the biggest casting directors to producers, I know them all now, you know, and I love it when they call me by first name, and, you know, they give me their phone numbers and stuff. So I'm enjoying that right now. So it's about winning and taking it to the next level.
All right. Okay. So that just about answers all the questions. Fashion Dolls is about that time. Are y'all ready? It is time for the rapid five. And then we're going to do a segment called Turn the Tables, where our guests get to turn the tables and ask me questions. So I
Okay.
don't know what Orlando is going to ask me. So you have to tell me 5 things. This is the rapid five. You have to tell me 5 things that Orlando can't live without.
Okay. My kids, sweet tarts, watching films, uh, my family, and nice, comfortable tennis shoes.
That's 5. All right, Fashion Dolls, it is time to turn those tables. So the hostess with the mostest, me, of course, is going
Nice.
to be getting interviewed. Orlando's going to get to ask me some questions, family, whatever it is. All right, so take it away, Orlando.
Okay, so I know this has been asked before. So, what made you get into wanting to to have your own show?
Well, it all started when I was 8 years old. I remember picking up a magazine, and my grandmother was there. She was like, it surprised her, and just reading what was inside the magazine. And ever since then, as I grew up through my preteen years, into my, my church, throughout the rest of my childhood, um, reading, watching the news, covering things, and this is like, I want to do something about it. So I love entertainment. I love music. I love movies. I love all of these things and so much more, and mainly fashion. So Style by Stevie was born in 2016. At the age of 16 years old, that's when I
Wow.
created this platform. And I had no idea that it was going to be such a success and a whirlwind, now going into 300 near episodes. Like, we're that way. We're about to hit that 300 mark.
God, I wish
And
I was
that just
300.
I can't even remember some of the interviews that I've done throughout the past few years, and I'd have to go back and look at it. It's always good to keep pictures and go back and look at memories,
Hmm.
because it gives you something. It brings back hope that we can go back to this. You
Right,
never know.
right.
So for me, it's all about being in the present and embracing the present. But I wanted to have a platform where women, mainly women of color, could be represented. I wanted to be that representation for women of color, black women. And not only that, but I have my male co-host, so I'm the only female. And then I have my guys. I added the guys to the show later this year because I'm like, because men will DM me and they'll be like, okay, she going in on the men too bit. She'll go in on the men a little bit too much. And they're just like, you being biased. So I said, well, how about this? I add the male perspective as well too. So
That's
my
awesome.
co-hosts, shout outs to EJ and Johnny, they give the male perspective. And it's just like all of us together, that camaraderie that everyone sees, even when we talk on the phone, off the air, or when we're not doing the show, is still there. Like, I love these boys with all my heart. And I call myself Play Mama. I be having to raise them and tell them, okay, y'all got to get up. Because sometimes we will be doing shows on Saturdays because our co-host EJ, he works then. So it's been very, very challenging, but just fighting all of these obstacles to be on top where I'm at, I'm happy.
Okay. What fashion icon influences you the most?
Oh, it's so many, so I have to choose one.
Just just one.
Oh, that's a tough question. That's just like asking me to choose my favorite fashion designers. I love them all. I would have to say, oh, so many. I would have to
Well,
say Grace Jones. Grace Jones,
wow. Oh,
or either Rihanna, or either
Grace,
Rihanna. Um, I
Grace
chose
Jones is sexy,
Grace.
boy.
She I love her fearlessness, and I'm a Scorpio, and I feel like I'm a little bit of a she lives through me. She's my spirit animal, and I love her just how bold she was. She took risk. She didn't care, and I'm the same way. We're unapologetic women, and we're outspoken. So she's from Jamaica. I'm from South Carolina. There's no similarities there,
Uh-huh.
but I just love how fearless she was. And I remember my father put me on to seeing her in a James Bond film. That's the first time I
Oh,
ever seen her.
yeah.
Yes, and just seeing her in the fashions, her movements, the way she tamed that horse, I said, oh yes, she is definitely, she's brown. She's a brown girl like me too.
Woo.
So I said, Grace Jones.
Okay.
But Rihanna, I love
Whoa,
Rihanna
whoa,
too.
whoa,
So
wait. Well, okay, okay. It was Grace.
it's a tough choice. They're both. I love someone who is outspoken, who's bold, who's just. That's my personality. I'm a Scorpio, and my mom, she's the same way. So, yeah.
Grace is she's awesome. She's God bless. She's gorgeous. Even now, Jesus. What is your 1 year goal and 5 year goal?
My 1 year goal. When this thing is over with, I would love to be able to do shows with my co-hosts in person. I want to meet them. And I want to meet other people too outside of this. But we got to wait. And I can be patient for that. But we got to be safe. So I'd have to say that. And my 5 year goal,
Okay.
I would love to have my own network because I want to see more representation for us as people of color. Like we're fighting with all of these platforms like the Oscars, the Emmys, just to get an award, just to get representation. And I
Uh-huh.
would love to see more of that. So I would build my own network. It would be, not just this platform on there, but it would be so much more on that platform as well too.
Do you have a manager or a publicist?
No, I don't have one. And I set up the interviews. I do everything. And it's definitely a balance. So balancing family, balancing out the show, doing all of that, making sure that the interviews are set up perfectly. I do it all myself. And I tease people. I say I'm every woman. I do it all. So it's definitely that. But by the grace of God and my mom just supporting me and encouraging me and all of that and so much more, just the supporters, that's what keeps me going.
I don't. I'm not sure, but I think Roku, you could get your own show aired through Roku.
Wow.
You got to
Okay.
do some research on it because I got a friend of mine who was doing the same thing you were doing and was able to get a streaming channel on Roku. So then that way you can start selling ad spots so you can make some money while you do it because you do a great job. And I think we need more people. And the only reason why I asked about the publicists because they can help get you out there a little bit more also. So I think you do a great job, and I think you need, yeah, I think you need that extra little team on streaming network. I mean, there's no telling, how it can get you making some money and more people see you.
Absolutely, I would love that, and I will look into that. Absolutely, because I am looking to expand Style by Stevie. Like the platform is taking off so fast in a whirlwind, and I wake up because when I started this in 2016, I had no idea that we will be able to sit with the likes of yourself, Kareem Grimes. Till this day, I still can't get over it. I'm fangirling on the inside now and getting chills. Vanessa Williams, just sitting down with her, and people were like, "You sat down with Vanessa?" Yes, I did.
Yes,
I
you
looked
did.
into those. I looked into those beautiful blue eyes, and I froze up. And
Not
I
you.
I was so nervous when I did that interview, but we got through it. It was just like talking to a old girlfriend. We were talking about makeup and hair and stuff, and
Come on
just
now.
her dropping gems on me imparting gems as well to the audience. It was just amazing, and till this day, I still can't believe it. So that one will definitely hold a special place in my heart. Um, yeah, I see so much for Style by Stevie in the future.
I see it also. I see it also. I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor coming from you.
Yes, I got friends. For a second, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you
Uh,
good. You're
okay.
back.
I see my friend from school, Ken, went on. Irvin's on. And it's interrupted my interview right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting on Johnny. My co-host Johnny should be joining me in a bit. Right now, we are here with Orlando Eric Street. We went through some of his projects. Again, amazing work. Amazing work. Creeping with the Beacon. Waiting for the Angels with Robin Givens. Oh my goodness. Switching the script. He watches over me. And my favorite, The Butler.
Come on.
Um, he Watches Over Me is one of my favorites. It features one of my favorite actresses from the hit show Girlfriends. Golden Brooks is in the film. So, yes, shows like that, representation is what we're about on my platform. So, just this alone is amazing. All of the films that I've went through.
Thank you so very much.
Oh, Christmas Bells. We could go on and on.
Yeah.
So, out of all your roles that you've portrayed in films that you've starred in, which one is one of your favorites?
Probably it's a toss up between the one with Golden Brooks because I had the opportunity to direct that one, and the other one would be I just did this film called Do You Remember, and that's going to be coming out later this year. That was really good, so I'm excited about that. Very excited.
All right. All right. So while we're waiting on Johnny, my last question is what advice would you give to up and coming directors and actors? Because I know there's so many people that are looking to get their feet wet into this industry of producing film and more so being behind the lens. And more importantly, just making sure that you study angles, study all of these things. What advice would you give to upcoming directors and filmmakers?
I would say surround yourself with good people you can trust and someone that can give you true advice, but understand that you're the boss of the set and everything. Uh, Learn as much as you can. Don't disrespect any category in whether it's the personal assistant on set to the executive producer. You have to be respectful to these people and learn those positions because every position is hard work. Like I did a film again, like I said, I was with Morgan Freeman, and when I did the film, he says, like, I'm the CEO of the film, and you're like working in the mailroom, so to say. And he said, you just got to work your way up the ladder, but everybody's got to respect each position. So here he is, the CEO, talking to me, the little guy in the mailroom, And I took that to heart. So every time I go on film, on a set, I try to make sure I speak to everyone on set to just to be polite and to let them know that, you know, I'm cool and everything all the way up until they say action or whatever, because I'm working at that point. But I mean, just respect every position in the film industry and learn as much as you can, and don't be too prideful in letting people offer you some advice, because everybody, no one knows everything, you know. So that's my advice.
Absolutely. 100%. And you have to start off somewhere. For me, I'm still growing. I'm still learning along the way. I've been doing this for a long time. And I'm always open to taking constructive criticism and advice from people. So I'm always open. And that's one thing in this industry. We have to be open to receive it and get it. And it can
Yep.
help us along the way. And I'm
Yep.
thankful for those who've given me constructive criticism and said, okay, this is what I think should happen. This is how I think we should go. This is how this needs. So I'm always open. At first, because I started off so young, I was just like, nah, I'm gonna do it my way. But
True.
now,
Yeah.
now that I'm 27, you see things in a different light, and it's just like, okay, I'm willing to listen. I can take this in. So
Yeah. That's cool. That's good. Good stuff.
and shout outs to my cast member. We just recently shot a horror film, and that was back in the month of April. The Assistant to Reconnected will be dropping on YouTube. It is a horror film. My role is Professor Fair. And shout outs to Lamar, who is the lead character in the film, who plays the character of Reese. And The Assistant, which is on Amazon Prime. Make sure you guys go and check it out. My
Oh,
co-host Johnny, who will be joining us in a few, will definitely be in the film. So make sure you guys go and check that out as well. So I had to throw those plugs in there. Thank you for
yes.
that, for reminding me, Lamar.
Okay. And don't forget, we need to act in a film together.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
I've never acted before. This actually was my first movie role, and doing the table read with the cast and everything, it was amazing. But then when we got to the day where it was taping time, I remember it was so funny. Everybody was forgetting lines, going over each other's lines, and we had to do about 3 takes. And that second or third take, we got it finally. It came
Yeah.
together beautifully. And it was just like you forgot a line. And I remember I swore, I was cursing. I
Uh-oh.
said, man, everybody was laughing at it, but we all had a good time filming this particular project. It was a horror film, so it was a little bit for me to step out of my element because I've never done this. I normally do this, the speaking engagements and
Right, right, right.
hosting and putting things together, but it's good to be out there doing something. So would I do acting? Absolutely, I would
Yeah.
do more.
I could see us being like 2 cops taking down the drug lords. Let's work on that
Yes, all right, set it up, manifestation.
one. Let's put it out there.
All right, and my co-host is here, Johnny,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. All right, so he's gonna ask a few questions,
Oh,
and
so I'm
then
still on. I'm still on. I'm sorry. I thought you were getting rid of me.
oh no, my co-host Johnny's gonna ask some questions,
Okay.
and then we are going to conclude, and then me and Johnny will be getting into these topics, ladies and gentlemen. So, all right, is it adding Johnny? It says invited. So give it a second. My co-host is here though, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny. In the meantime, between time, make sure you guys go and follow Orlando Street and check out his projects, ladies and gentlemen. Great interview so far. My co-hosts were waiting on him to get at it. I'm not sure. Instagram is tripping right now.
Oh, I think he's coming on.
The bot should be popping up in a minute.
How's it going?
Okay, let me try again. All right, can you hear me, Johnny? Can you guys hear me?
You going in and out?
All right, perfect. There we are. He's here,
right
ladies and
there.
gentlemen. All right, my co-host is here, Johnny, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. So let's get into these questions. My co-host is going to ask Orlando some questions. I think we just about covered it. Thank God Johnny missed out on the turn the table segment because, again, y'all be trying to get all up in Miss Stevie's business. So Oh my goodness. So take it away, Johnny.
All right, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Johnny. What you eating on, man? I want some.
Oh, no, I'm chewing on a straw.
Okay,
I
okay.
choose straws to keep my nerves calm.
Just doing my pickled sunflower seeds on my way on the road.
Oh, you one of those? You one of those?
Yes, sir.
So, how are things going so far in your career?
I'm very happy at the way it's going. I've done a lot of work so far this year. I've shot a few commercial, few films, and 2 television series. So I really can't complain. So I'm very excited.
Okay. So any future projects for the rest of this year, or the rest of this year is pretty much settled, and this next year is like the start?
I'm actually on hold for right now, which I can't mention. So I'm on hold for those 2. If I get them, great. If I don't, I still go forward. But they got some other projects that are coming that I'm getting some good roles to audition for.
Okay. I heard you say commercial. What kind of commercials, by the way?
It depends. It could be either a bank commercial or a hospital, or it could be a Nike commercial. It could just be anything like that. So I've been very lucky in the region. I don't usually have to audition too much for those regionals commercial. They'll just ask
Like sponsored commercials.
it depends. Some of them reach out and say they ask for my availability to see if I'll do it, and then the other ones I'll have to audition for. So I've been booking both of those so far. So it's been pretty good, and I just started doing a lot more commercials because I figure if if Samuel Jackson is doing commercials and stuff, and a couple of other big names making that money, and keeping the space out there, I'm gonna try to wear you out by seeing my face on billboards and in commercials all the time.
Okay. Um, any do you have a schedule set for next year or not yet? Are you just really like kind of like waiting on the cast callings?
Uh, well, next year I know. Well, I know of 2 projects, 2 television series that I will be on next year, 2 separate series, and they're going to do a sort of prequel to the movie I just did, Do You Remember? So that's all coming up. And like I said, Do You Remember, which was directed by Reg and produced by Aaron Williams.
Okay. Your phone was breaking up a little bit. I was like,
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm fighting this hurricane, so I'm trying to just pick up my boy from college real quickly to get him out of there before this hurricane hits. Sorry about that.
oh no, you good. Um, Last question. So, um, well, technically 2. Are you SAG certified
I'm
or not yet?
I am SAG eligible. My agent does not want me to go SAG yet because uh, the money we're making on the non-union projects that I'm doing right now. It's like I've been booking a lot of those lately. And so we just got to have a sit down and talk, like, what's the strategy for next year? So I've been SAG for a long time. I mean, SAG eligible for a long time now. So it's just, it's a decision that we got to sit down and talk about together.
Okay. Actually, I got 2 more questions. This question, do you have any sponsors by chance? Have any sponsors reached out to you or not yet?
I do. DJ Cliff is a sponsor that pays me, and I wear some of his paraphernalia. Uh, Taylor Vintage is a clothing line that they send me some clothes that I wear for them. Tennis, I was sponsored by Nike. I still get some stuff from Nike. Olive Olay, another sponsor for. They were trying to do a men thing. Oh, God bless. God, you're the first person to ask about that. There's a couple other stuff that if I show up for stuff, yeah, I'll get paid for it and stuff. Yeah, and I get stuff sent to me, to my home and stuff. Yeah.
Um,
I can't.
how did you go about actually getting the sponsors and like the agency? Like as far as the agency and the sponsors, like how did that come about? Like did you have to seek them or they seeked you, or was it about you putting yourself out there?
The clothing, like, can you hear me?
Hmm?
The clothes was, they saw me in a film in a suit. And so then I took some pictures for them and they're like in their catalog and international pictures and stuff like that. So that's how that one happened. Nike was because I was playing tennis and I was coaching a lot and touching so many people with that. DJ Cliff is a homeboy. Put some sponsor out with some of these nice kicks that he got and everything. So he sponsors me with that and pays me for that. So, but I've never, the bad part is I do a horrible job. I don't reach out for anything, which I should do. I don't do enough social media, which I should do. I just don't do it. And, because they say your numbers will go up. I just, honestly, as busy as I've been, I just don't have the time to even learn to filter stuff and all that other stuff and everything. But those have been mainly reaching out to me.
Okay. With the agency, how did you go about getting with the agency? Did you have to do, a few projects?
Agent, and my agent currently has just been keeping me busy. Her
Hmm.
name's Angie Winfrey. I went Action Talent Agency, and I've been extremely busy. I'm not saying that my other agents, they were good also, because I did work with them also. It's just that some reason she has a good way of making her relationship and my relationship for all these productions to keep calling me back. And it's like if it's the same production company doing a different project, they're calling me first, and I love it, So, but at first I did audition. I had to do slates and monologues. I mean, not slates, reels and monologues and stuff like that. So right now I don't have to do that, But at the beginning, absolutely, I had to do a monologue and everything and show my range of acting in front of these people to see if they want to pick me up, take a chance on me. So.
Okay. Um, this last question is like a personal question for me. So, because I'm an actor too. I'm in the assistant. I have a thousands and thousands of reels and demos. I recently moved from South Carolina to Atlanta, and I was actually trying to get into a talent agency, but I didn't know how to go about doing that. Because I mean, I emailed them, sent them profiles and all of that. I sent them everything that they would need as far as a profile. And of course, I think this was last year, so I think that was when they weren't like really taking in new people.
Nah.
And that's not how you do it.
I was just referring to last year. It's just that last year was just a bad year for a lot of people. So, but you're doing the right things. I don't know if you're going to the right agency. You might be going into one that's too big right now that you don't have the resume for right now, unless I'm speaking out of line. I don't know how deep your resume is. So, depending on your resume, you have to pick and choose an agent that's going to work with you. You can't go to like your Alexander White and you've never acted before or been in a SAG production. They're just not going to pick you. And you got to have some form of references as far as like Raven Drummond does acting classes there and clinics, and you could go to catch one of her clinics. I know you got to pay some money. You see a couple of other people that are named people doing stuff, not just some Joe Blow down the street doing some stuff. Don't get catfish into some of that stuff. So you got to go to someone like Raven Drummond. I don't know who else is really doing it in Atlanta. I can help you out big time here in Louisiana, because you got Jim Gleason, Lance Nichols, Trazy. And you got a couple of those people that have a good name for themselves doing some stuff here that can help vouch for you. So I don't know about Atlanta, except for Raven Drummond does a good bit of stuff, and you can get close to her by paying to go to her workshop. But look, you got to look at it and break down to see if there's not someone that looks like you, and make sure that you get that straight. And the thing that helps me sell for me is, I normally have a clean face, but for the last like 2.5, 3 years, we came up with the strategy of me never shaving until they asked me to shave. And so then I could play various roles, from like a bad guy to the comedic guy, just with my facial hair and my expressions. So I make myself more valuable by being that comedic timing, that romantic comedy, that villain, that victim in a show and everything. So like I've done wide ranges, and it's simply because when I do my headshots and my pictures and stuff, if you look at my IMDb, you'll see it. You'll see some of them. Well, there's one on right there that, sort of look like the bad guy right there. And, I've done bad guys and good guys in films and stuff. So you have to give yourself a variety. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one character. And I know I've seen a lot of people get stuck into the bad guy role or the happy-go-lucky dad, and I didn't want to be that guy. At one point they were saying, can you be dad again? I'll be like, okay, how are you? And I didn't want to do that anymore. So, I started doing some hood shit, and, and it just kind of changed everything.
Okay.
I do all.
I appreciate that, man. One of the most open ones that pretty much, went in depth instead of being on the surface of pretty much like, as far as like getting a foot in the door. That was definitely helpful. And of course, it'd be helpful like for other viewers that are actors as well that would actually like to know that stuff. Because of course, when you YouTube things, YouTube gives you pretty much the yes man stuff and not the how you can really like build the ground. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, mind if I speak just a little bit more on that? I would really find a good network of. First of all, I got like good people on my team, and you got good people on your team, and then we challenge each other. I would make sure that I'm practicing my craft all the time. I would keep the acting lessons if you have some, and I know you have it in Atlanta because Atlanta is just huge for it. Find a good home for the acting student that's very serious. I was taking acting lessons here, and they got out of line, and I gave them a piece of my mind because I take my time and money means so much to me, and I train. When I train, it's like you're training for a fight. You want to train hard because you want to win the fight, but don't get caught up on in. They got a lot of people that'll tell you a lot of bullshit. If you got a question, somebody tells you something, shoot me a DM. It might take a minute for me to get back to you, but I'll get back to you. But I'll tell you, like, don't do it or do it. I'll just be honest with you. I said, I don't want you to waste your time or money, because I hate it when people come up with a lot of, you got a lot of actors out there that do a lot of stuff. I don't want to say take advantage or anything, but just be careful. And you can always ask me, and if I have to, I'll look it up to say, hey, that's the way to go for you. But other than that, I don't want you to get suckered out of some money and waste your time and everything. And if this is your dream and passion, let's do it right. Do it right.
You got your boss, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
No doubt.
Those are the questions, Miss Stevie.
I think that's just about covered it. Everybody wants to know how to get into this industry, and the gems and the questions that Johnny's asking, and that the gems that Orlando is giving, is ways that we can do this. There's so many things out here that we can watch. There's so many programs that also can teach us as well too. If you're in the music industry, behind the music, unsung, like there's so many things out here that can be beneficial to helping people jumpstart their career, because we all have become creative during the quarantine, and everyone has figured out a way to do something to bring in some sort of income. And these are ways that you guys can do it. Take little small parts, commercials. There's so many different things, casting calls. I know it can be a lot, but if you just give it a try, give it, you never know where it could go. So just keep trying, keep pushing, because you never know where the next part of your career can go. Like, look at Style by Stevie. So many great things are happening just from this platform alone, and that's from the camaraderie that is me, EJ, and Johnny. So yeah.
Hey, you guys are amazing. I had a great time.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor coming to you again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Is there anything you would like to let your followers know before we conclude this interview, Orlando? Wait a minute, you were going in and out.
All right, am I in or out right now? Am I in?
You're in. Yes, you're in.
All right. It's easier to smile than it is to frown, period. And I know that sounds crazy, but during these times, people are so frowned and so caught up into, just this hatred and, just this pandemic has got everybody. I mean, if we all work together, we could get through it. So just smile at people and don't be such a hard ass all the time. Let's start looking at life as what's the best that can happen. Look at it that way. What's the best that can happen instead of what's the worst that can happen? So what's the best that can happen? Do that and smile at some people. Thank y'all very much for having me on. Johnny, you can inbox me.
Yep, there we go.
Eric Street, please go and follow him, support him. Such a great actor and producer and director. And now we're here with our host Johnny. So we're going to get into these topics, ladies and gentlemen. Today on Style by Stevie, we are going to be discussing. Let's get into it. We're not going to do a whole lot, but I will talk about anti-Blackness, racism, and mental health. And the person that we're going to be talking about is Kanye West, ladies and gentlemen. So I found a couple stories, and we're going to be talking about that. Kanye is back with the Donda 3 album. He's been back promoting that. So before we get into that and we have a conversation on Kanye, we're going to talk about this new unconfirmed ATL promo. I guess ATL 2 Homecoming. The trailer is out. And I might say it looks good, but I have a few concerns, and you guys know those concerns. Hold on. Yeah, when I take that deep breath, y'all know what that means. T.I., baby, you don't need to be promoting no film or doing nothing right now, if you ask me. You just recently got out of some hot controversy with the Lil Nas X situation. And if not that, you still have a conversation and a situation going on with you and Tiny. So the last thing I would think they would want to be doing is replacing T.I. in the film. I don't care how iconic ATL is. I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, this man did something and he needs to be held accountable for it. Not only that, but you gaslight You are a misogynist, and there needs to be some sort of accountability that needs to happen for T.I. and his actions. Not only that, but you got Zoe to go live with you to approve of your homophobic behavior. Straight privilege, T.I., you damn right, it is straight privilege out here. Whereas my trans ass, I can't do nothing. Johnny, your thoughts?
I'm definitely here for the movie. It's been a long time coming. I understand where you're coming from when you say he definitely kind of like needs to be replaced. But I mean, him being replaced would actually take away the point of the movie, because the movie is based around him and his brother Ant. Due to the fact of him and his stupid allegations of the dumb ish he's been doing, it's kind of like, T.I., you should have like made ATL 2 kind of more so based around someone else besides including you, because because of him that movie wouldn't get seen. And you know what I'm saying? And depending on who else is in the movie too, that'll determine, you know what I'm saying, whether or not people are going to actually watch it. Because, people watch things according to who's on it, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And he's got a lot of stands out here. So, of course, the stands are going to continue to support their fave 100%. Just like Lil Bootsy, just like the baby. Like, again, toxic masculinity and patriarchy is the best fashion trend right now. And they are wearing it very, very well. And not in a good way. Man. The next topic, he was on live to approve anything. He was on his live to approve anything. It was an actual learning discussion. You're talking about Zoe? No. Hope Giselle did a whole conversation about being the token gay black man and being the token gay and being the token trans black woman. Again, stop trying to get approval from these straight male hip-hop artists. I'm going to wake it up like Milan Christopher said. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. They care about maintaining straight male privilege and toxic masculinity. And to the gays out here in the community that are thinking that if I act butch, if I act trade, if I act like a thug, you can miss me with the bullshit. You want to know what? LGBTQ community, we cannot unite because you have some black men out here in the LGBTQ community that are leaning closer and closer towards cis heteronormatives. I watched it and it was more than just so. Yeah, it was more. I'm not here for it, Island Yankee. I'm not here for it at all. Hope Giselle and everybody talked about it. You are being the token gay black man. No, T.I. was gaslighting 100%. And before anyone says I'm biased, no, it's the truth. He doubled down on it, just like Lil Boosie did at Breakfast Club not too long ago. When will people learn that we got to stop defending these toxic ass straight black men out here when they don't give a fuck about us? And if my trans ass was to go out here and get killed or hurt, y'all wouldn't give fucks. Y'all would just in my picture, R.I.P. Miss Stevie, but you wouldn't give a fuck. How about that? Let's move on because I'm heated and I'm pissed because it makes me so angry that we can't unite within our community. We're tearing each other apart, all to protect these men out here that don't give a damn about us at the end of the day. They are interested in protecting patriarchy and black male privilege. Wake up. And you want to know what the downfall is for the black community? It's straight black men. Not all, but some. Creating broken homes. Blaming homosexuality. Oh, well, like Dr. Umar Johnson said. Oh, well, you know, black women we're the cause of black men being gay. We're the cause of them being castrated. What the hell are you talking about?